Hey everybody, we're going to talk about one of my best performing investments of all time. It's called Tanger Factory Outlet Centers. If you live in a coastal area, you might live near a Tanger Outlets property. Ticker symbol is SKT, and one of my best performers, and we're going to talk about it today. Before we do that, please check out the link you see on your screen, fool.com/Frankel. Get 10 stock picks right now from the Motley Fool. It's the best way to support this work I'm doing on YouTube. Again, fool.com/Frankel. So Tanger Factory Outlet Centers, they've been a very good performer for the last few years. I want to go ahead and share my screen real quick. So the main points of this, I bought Tanger during the initial COVID crash when everyone thought that no one was ever going to go shopping ever again. I bought shares for about $5.40. It had plunged like a lot of other retail owners and was trading for essentially like it was going to go bankrupt. And I swooped in. I didn't make a giant investment because there was a lot of uncertainty during that time. I wasn't comfortable putting a lot of money into it, but I ended up being on the right side of it. I bought for about $5.40 a share. It now trades for about $33 a share. This is about 5 years later, and so I have a gain of about 510% on my investment in just 5 years. So, but even at that higher price, there's still a lot to like about Tanger. So I'm going to put up some of the slides and kind of talk about the current state of the company. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that, but I'm going to talk through most of it. So Tanger, they are an outlet mall operator. They own 40 retail centers in the United States, mostly in coastal and other kind of southeast and touristy areas. You can see on that map there, they have 40 total in the United States with a total of about 15.6 million square feet of space. Pretty big retail company, but not terribly large. They're the number 2 in the outlet industry, actually. Simon Property Group owns the Premium Outlets brand, and that is by far the number 1. But Tanger is the only one that is a pure play on the outlet industry right now. So, very good tenant diversity. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit so you guys can see this. The top tenants make up just about 5% of the properties. I don't know if anyone's been to an outlet mall that didn't have a Gap store there. That's Tanger's biggest tenant. They've done a great job of adding new and kind of exciting brands to the properties over the past few years. But just a list of some of the major tenants there. We have Gap, Lane Bryant, Tapestry, Under Armour, American Eagle, Nike's on there. There's a lot of popular brands that lease outlet space from Tanger. Just some of the operating metrics to know. About 97.4% occupancy. This one is really interesting. When leases renew, they're getting a 14.4% lease spread, meaning that the new lease is 14% greater than the one that just expired. So it's helping rent go up. Tenant sales have kind of stabilized right now. Consumer spending is kind of under pressure and has been for about a year, so it's been pretty flat year over year, but still performing very well. The business has done really, really well. Positive rent spreads for the past 11 quarters in a row. Those are stable in the mid-teens right now. So really impressive numbers there. I go down one more. And here's kind of one of the big things, occupancy. We saw a dip during the pandemic years. That's what this is right here. A lot of retailers went bankrupt during those years. But Tanger has done a great job of releasing those spaces. And if you look at the latest numbers from 2023 and 2024, Tanger's occupancy is actually greater than it was in most of the years before the pandemic. From 2017 to 2019, this area right here, Tanger's current occupancy of 97.5% is actually greater than it was before the pandemic. So that's a really impressive accomplishment in the post-COVID world. Especially with rents rising like they are. So keep that in mind. Not too many upcoming expirations, but enough that those 14% lease spreads should really play a role in earnings growth over the next few years. See right here in 2020, this year, about 20% of their square footage is up for renewal. 2026, almost another 20%. So a lot of these leases will be resetting in the next few years. And you'll see those kind of mark to the current market environment, which is definitely a good thing if you're getting those big releasing spreads. So let me put the slideshow back on the screen again. So kind of run down what I like about the stock now, even at the higher price. No significant debt maturities, and no debt maturities at all until September 2026. Reasonable debt load. Their balance sheet's very strong, less than a 30% debt to capital ratio. 95% of their debt is fixed rate, and the majority of it is not tied to any property. It's not mortgages. This is corporate level debt. So it is unsecured debt. The stock trades for just 15.5 times 2024 funds from operations, which you can consider as the real estate version of earnings. And brick and mortar retail has been surprisingly strong. I saw a report the other day that it's a lower customer acquisition cost for retailers to bring people in store than online, fewer returns, less fraud they have to deal with. There's a lot of advantages to brick and mortar and the outlet industry in particular, because it's generally a cheaper way to have a physical store than to, open up in a mall or open up in a neighborhood center or something like that. Tanger has a lot of growth opportunities over time. You see they're not in all of the nation yet on that map I showed earlier. They grow through acquisitions. They grow through development. They have a lot of experience developing properties from the ground up. And redevelopment. One focus lately is adding mixed-use elements to retail properties. Simon, their chief competitor, has done a great job of that. And Tanger is starting to catch up with things like dining destinations and entertainment properties that are adjacent to their outlets and things like that. So a lot of opportunity here. And I'm excited to see what the future holds. Still, I'm still a shareholder and plan to continue to be for a while. So hopefully you found that one informative. Tanger is one of my favorite stocks. Let me know what you think about it. I'll do my best to answer any questions individually. I will be watching their earnings that are coming out in a couple weeks, and I'll be sure to give you an update then. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investments. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market more than 5 times. Go to fool.com/Frankel to get your 10 stock picks now. The Motley Fool Stock Advisor returns are 914% as of January 7th, 2025, and are measured against the S&P 500 returns of 174% as of January 7th, 2025.